Hello and welcome to this tutorial brought to you by the Lois Art. My name is Emmanuel Okafo and I hope you guys had a wonderful day. In this video we'll be doing something quite fun. I was looking for ideas for this tutorial and I came up with this. Lately I've been experimenting with just creating scenes of one object, and for today that object was a telephone. So basically I will get an asset and then I create a story and a scene around it, and that's what we're doing today. So this is the result of the final work that you guys will be seeing the process of how I achieve this. So the way I typically go for stuff like this is I try to do a rough layout of the entire scene, as you can see here. So I'm not worried about the colors. I just want to get rough representation of the assets and also get the position of the camera. The advantage of this is it makes you know the assets which you want to do, especially if it's a quick project. It helps you just know the assets you'll be needing, the amount of details which you'll be needing on certain parts, and sometimes the layout actually turns out to be some of the layout outside turns out to be used for the final result, especially for those parts that don't need to have so much details. So once I'm done with the layout, then I start going on to designing the hero asset, and for this is this telephone model which I got off the internet. I didn't want to have to model it, so once I get the model I go in and retexture it, basically because this one didn't come with texture, and if it had come probably it would be low resolution texture, so I wanted to create mine. So basically using Blender shader node 3 to kind of build this all together. So nothing very complex, basically using the geometry node for getting the nice outline of the geometry, and then using noise to mask it, and then get this nice weathering effect on the side, and then added some roughness map to just increase the quality of the asset, and basically just playing with it till I think it looks perfect for it. I'm not going for like ultra realistic, I just want to have it convincing enough, especially for the story which I've chosen to tell with this process. So for this I basically wanted to tell a story about like this joke where like kidnappers, because they don't want people to see their handwriting, they use cut out from magazines to kind of create text, and I've always thought that was funny, so I wanted to create something like that. For the numbers on the phone, I basically used Photoshop, created the different numbers and just projected it onto the numbers inside Blender. This is a very nice workflow you could use for adding logos onto your shirt or adding decals onto your asset. You basically just want to create all of them in one image, and you can project them, and then you can use multiple UVs to kind of create multiple type of layered effect. This is also for the ransom node. I basically downloaded cutout of magazines from Google and did exactly the same thing, and just cut it out in Photoshop, then projected it onto a plane inside Blender, and added some roughness onto the plane, and we're good. So like I was saying, the layout is quite helpful to tell you things that you might need to put more effort in, and things you will not need to put effort. Like the table was just off the layout, so I didn't even have to create any custom table. The table plane just did, since like most of it will not be visible, so I don't have to worry about adding so much details. Even the lamp finally was used for the final image, because it was just partially showing and it would tell the story exactly, and even with the light it's going to be blown up, so there was no reason to kind of waste time on it. So when creating stuff like this, one thing you want to always bear in mind to separate your work from beginners, or if you're starting out, or what things you need to bear in mind is composition. And one of those composition tricks is actually adding color correction after you've rendered, and adding post effect and post stuff to increase the quality of your image, because you might think just rendering out of the back is going to give you a very nice image, and I'll show you that you will never get it to look like those awesome images or videos you see. You always have to kind of add some post processing to increase it, and you can go back and forth, which is one great thing about Blender. You can actually do it inside Blender and preview it. So at this stage, I'm looking at the image and it looks quite crowded. No focal element was quite defined, and that's something I will fix in a bit. So I'm just adding more composition to increase the quality of the image, and once I've got it to a place I like, then I will start tweaking the assets again to make sure that it's readable. I will improve the lighting, change the scale, and make sure things look nice, and then just keep test rendering it till I think it's ready. And you can see the before the composition and after the composition. So that's it, guys. I know this was a quick one. I hope this was quite helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please don't forget to subscribe. So bye bye for now, see you next time.